Hello, this is Miss Andrea, and today I'm going to look at some commonly shared ways that homeschooling parents can make money at home while homeschooling their kids. Some of these need a little myth busting, and some of them are great ideas. So let's go for it. Number one, become a co op instructor or a caregiver. I am a co op instructor, I am a homeschool program director. Um, you're not going to make a ton of money doing this. This is a service. Um, I think you have a better chance of making money if you just have like one to three kids you work with, and it's more one on one. Parents are more willing to pay for that. But once you expand it into a program, those first few years, you're going to be a little hard for cash. So don't do this thinking that it's going to solve your financial problems immediately because it won't. Two, resell things online. This is actually really good. It got me through my children's middle school years, um, kind of toward the beginning of our homeschool journey. Back then, eBay was a very fruitful marketplace that you could work on. Not so much now. But I would drop my kids off at their homeschool program once a week, and then I would go to the mall because I lived near an outlet mall. So it's always great if you have access to an outlet mall where you'll see lots of sales. And I think I mostly did Ross Stores, Burlington Coat Factory, and those were the days when those stores really did sell name brands for less. Now they kind of sell name brand dupes for less. But I made so much money specifically zeroed in on plus size clothing. If you're going to resell things online, make sure you are selling things that you have knowledge in. Um, Lean into your expertise. Um, as a plus size person, I just started selling my clothes. They were selling so well that I started getting more clothes and selling them. To selling things online, um, I did a video recently, well, fairly recently, about homeschool picking. And I profiled a lady who was a homeschool picker. Um, and she goes around yard sales, um, secondhand stores, and buys things that she feels are valuable. And she's right, the things she finds are valuable. Once again, she knows the market and she knows what to look for. And then she resells them. Now, here's my deal. I did this also kind of as a hobby. My friend and I just kind of started doing this as a hobby, and it started out really well. We started making a lot of money, but it just kind of ebbed and flowed. Be careful of the malls, like those mall stores where everyone has a booth, a resale booth, and it's managed by someone other than the people with the booths. Um, the people making money in those cases are the people that own and manage the store. The people in the booths typically will lose money month over month, but it's such a small loss and it's such a fun hobby that you tend to let it go for about a year until you look at your bank statements and realize how little money you really made. Problems I ran into while doing this was, you know, I started off with the big pieces, started having back problems. My doctor told me no big pieces. So I found a little small niche that I was really good at, and it was custom pillows with fun sayings. They were selling really well. And this was the third place I worked with because I worked with two other places before I moved to this one. When I moved where I had my booth space at. It was doing really well. And first month, second month, third month, every booth in the store had products similar to mine. And the owner let everyone copy, my niche item. And so I began losing money. So You need to pay attention who is in charge of a booth sale if you do the booth sale. You have to make sure that they're going to not let people steal your ideas, because it was blatant and it was disheartening. And honestly, if you're going to do that, you should probably be in charge of the store. So, these same things could be sold online through probably Etsy or a similar place like that. I have never worked with Etsy. I have worked with Poshmark. Is it Poshmark? Oh, I've worked with Poshmark. I buy more from them than I sell. I just honestly haven't seen the value in doing that big time, but I do love it. I do love the idea of knowing a market, knowing certain niche products, being able to see when they're really valuable, buying those and reselling them. That's the way to do it. Don't follow someone else's plan. Follow your own plan, follow your niche, follow your knowledge. Tutoring other children. Well, like becoming a co-op instructor or caregiver, it's you will make more money when it's like you as a single person personally tutoring a few children, or one to a few children, than trying to run a bigger program. So unless you have time to invest in building a bigger program for a few years, tutoring other children is a good way to make money while homeschooling. I caution you against doing that full time. I suggest doing that part time, having strict hours, so that it doesn't take over your life and take over the homeschooling of your own kids. Work in direct sales and MLM. Don't do it. Don't do it. It always seems like it starts off well, but if you have to get other people to sell what you're selling to make money, it's not about the product. Only sell when it's about the product. That's my personal opinion. Dog sit or house sit, if you're really good with animals, it is a good way to make money. I do recommend it, keeping in mind it's got to work around your homeschool schedule and not take it over. Teaching English online, it's hard to get into the programs where you can teach English online. They don't want you to be fluent in their language, and they don't even want you to speak their language to the students. They just want you to converse in English so that those students are forced to converse in English. But it's a popular job, and I know a lot of people who've tried to get them and they're hard to get, but if you can get it, it does well. I know someone who does a similar thing, but they teach science online, and they do extremely well. Of course, they're a science maniac. You gotta know the subject that you're teaching. Become a homeschool affiliate or blogger. I play around with this a little bit. I want to say 2005 to 2013. That was my main source of income while I was homeschooling my kids. It does get lonely, but you can make a decent part-time income doing that. I'm gonna say $1,000 to $2,000 a month. The blogging sites aren't as big as they used to be, so you kind of have to look for the jobs. The jobs aren't going to come to you. You can advertise on Fiverr. When I do need some extra money and I'm like, let me see what there is, I will put an ad on Fiverr that says, hey, I'm a homeschool expert. This is what I can write about. 9 times out of 10, they come back and say, yeah, that's great, but can you write about this thing that I am not interested in, this thing I'm not an expert in? So you kind of have to stand your ground and say, I'm going to write about what I'm an expert in, so I'm not spending, a multitude of hours researching something to write it for you. If you're going to be a blogger, stay within your area of expertise. Provide childcare. It can work. You have to have the right personality. You have to have the right parents. Don't let any parent just come to you to watch their kids. Choose carefully. Make sure you have the same values and you can correct them. And make sure you have the same style of parenting. Create and sell a homeschool resource. If you're making and using something in your homeschool like a planner, curriculum, or resource, why not make it available for purchase? Yes, I actually have a publishing company, Cheese Press Publishing, my other channel. sell off your used curriculum. Well, that's not going to make you a ton of money, but it's going to give you back enough money to buy curriculum for the next year. So I do recommend that. Find a freelance job that fits your skills. Suggestions: graphic design, video editing, web development, grant writing, photography, writing, or social media management are skills in hot demand right now. If you have any skills like these or others, you can likely find a job with flexible hours that you can fit in the off homeschool hours. Like I've been saying, lean into your expertise and offer a service. You have to be able to market, or you have to find someone who can market for you and not take all your money. Finally, work a part-time job. Finally, work a part-time job during non-homeschool hours. I've been tempted to do that many times. I was always successful in finding work that I didn't need to leave the house to do. But nursing schedules are kind of cool for homeschooling parents. And honestly, that's the only one I can think of. I'm sure there are more out there, but a part-time job, maybe an evening job when dad's home, things like that. If you really need extra money and you want to homeschool, that would work. Plus, there's a bunch of online jobs these days. They don't pay as well as the in-person jobs, though. But if you need to make some extra money while you're homeschooling, that will do. So, the original list came from littlehousellearningcompany.com. And they made this list of ways you can make money as a homeschool parent. As a former homeschool parent who has tried many of these, I just want to give you my opinion on them. And so, till next time.